bland hallway. Um, but you see what I mean. They figured out, okay, these are the safest uniforms to wear in most environments. Of course, if you've seen the Air Force, they wear bluer ones. That's because if you're up in the air, I guess, you want to look like you're blue camouflage. I don't know why blue camouflage works. I think if you're going to be camouflaged, it's because you're on the ground, isn't it? And blue doesn't really.
The fabric, and it's just like to keep the uniform throughout the military branches.
I'm not going to say to,
It can't be very clear.
Air Force personnel, what's with the blue camouflage? Because I can't imagine you actually, unless you're on that planet, where, they get unobtainium from, the blue people, etc. So cars are the same way. If you're looking into buying an SUV type sedan, they all, whether it's a Lincoln, Ford, Isuzu, well, Isuzu doesn't make them anymore, but you look at them and they're the same basic, airfoil kind of shape, etc. So it seems like there's a good, and we gradually evolve to find the better and the better and the better in that kind of thing. But what kind of life is the best? Any ideas? Well, we hear this, the examined life. I have a disagreement with Socrates when he said the unexamined life is not worth living. I'm thinking, no, Socrates, that's totally wrong. That's also elitist, I suppose, because most people don't have the time to do what he considered to be the examined life. And to say that all those people are basically not worth having a life, that's just totally insane, right? But I suppose once you start asking the kinds of questions that he did, you become more interested in those. I've seen that happen in philosophy. I mean, obviously there are individuals that look at, the kinds of things we discuss in philosophy and they're like, this is so boring, how did I get into this course? Let me out, etc. But there are other folks that clearly become addicted to it. And I had that experience myself, right? We want to know the answers to this. But there are other kinds of happiness, the kinds of happiness that you get from everyday experiences. Remember the first time I put this on, I thought, wow, I really like this. It was a happy feeling, to find something that I liked, etc. There's all kinds of things that make us feel good, at least temporarily, and so on. And you need those, by the way. And Aristotle says, in multiple places, you have to have food, you have to have all these necessities as part of your life. Otherwise, you're not going to live. And really, when we think about how the impact of this on kind of the Western civilization, and not just the Western civilization, but really anywhere you look, you see society pretty much divided this way, with people that are basically the workers, the farmers, the shopkeepers, and the ones that make things. That's one type of life, and then of course you have the military, and that's pretty standard. And then who gets to be the third group? The ones that aren't really working for themselves, but are supplied with life by the community. Really, for the most part, it was the monasteries and the convents. So during the Middle Ages, you think of the monks and the nuns as basically that third group of people that were living the contemplative life, the examined life. And so their job, what made them happy, apparently, was learning. Learning the higher things, right? Learning different kinds of things in, say, a university where you start off learning about grammar, how to speak correctly. Then you go on to logic, where you learn, how to be logical. And then the next step up is rhetoric, where you're learning to make good speeches, and so on. And then when you go on beyond that, you start learning about mathematics, geometry, and music, and then astronomy. So you're literally going up in abstraction and towards the sky. So there's that interesting connection. That, by the way, was referred to as the trivium. Oh, that's a band, isn't it? I don't want the... Let's do this. Put both of them together. So there's your trivium. It's the first three subjects that you learn: grammar, logic, and rhetoric. Three different subjects, right? And then grammar. Oh, and it doesn't give you. Oh, here's the quadrivium down here. I have to show more. Literally, you're moving up. Why music? Why is music interesting in this respect? I mean, what's your favorite song?
Because when Trivium was becoming a thing, music was a way of telling stories back in the day. To learn how to read and make music, to learn how to listen and make stories.
The poems were sung.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about Plato's critique of the poets. You have to remember that the poets didn't just speak in rhyme as we think, the Jabberwock, etc. But it was musical, right? And some people clearly have a amazing ability in this respect. There's this is kind of fun.
When you're not out front, you can't see how bad things have gotten. Biden and Kamala took America down.
What is that? Yes, right. Well, there it is. Good.
Your Majesty, I hope you won't find it. I don't know much about the design.
What a charming idea. Yeah, I see it. Just a trifle, please.
This is when Mozart is introduced to the court. This is from the movie Amadeus. I don't know if anybody's seen it.
Bring in Mozart, please. But slowly. Right. D. Excellent.
Mozart's depicted as kind of a clown of
Very
sorts.
good.
That's Salieri, by the way,
Tempo.
who was much much more popular in that time, by the way. Mozart. He has no idea who the emperor is, actually.
Bravo, Majesty. Please, I beg you. Majesty. No, please, please, not a holy relic. Oh. This is yours. Keep it, Majesty, if you want this honor. What? From one hearing only? Being so silent, yes? Show us. The rest is just the same, isn't it?
Oops. Faux pas.
Doesn't really work, does it? You try. Can it be a bit more? Or this? This? Yes. Better? What do you think?
It's pretty now. It was crap before. So, what's your favorite music? What's the best song there is? Here's some humming. You want to hum a little louder? Very good point. There's actually different types of music, and it would certainly be the case that the best per a particular genre or whatever area. So we have
Superstition Stevie Wonder.
which
Superstition Stevie Wonder.
Superstition Stevie Wonder.
I was just feeling sick.
Sorry about the commercials.
It was the worst day. No, it was.
Turn this on while I'm playing it, because otherwise